Slim and good looking against extremely affordable and still packing a full-featured Windows Phone 8. The Nokia Lumia 720 on the left and the Nokia Lumia 520 on the right. This is Victor for PhoneArena with a detailed comparison between some of the most affordable and interesting Nokia Lumia Windows Phone handsets. And they both launched at the same time, and we have the red versions of both of them. So let's check out what are the differences, what are the similarities, and which ones should you get. It's obvious that these two devices differ a lot. After all, the Lumia 720 is the more expensive one, and you can instantly tell. It's gorgeous. It's made out of unibody plastic, and here we have a signature for Nokia colorful red version, but you also can get different colors, and it's extremely slim at 9 millimeters. Against the Lumia 520, which is a chubby little thing. It measures 10 millimeters in thickness. It's got that pillow shape, and in terms of buttons, we actually have the same layout. Here we have the volume rocker on top, the lock key in the middle, and the dedicated camera shutter key on the bottom of both devices. And on the back we have their cameras. The Lumia 720 has a 6.7 megapixel camera with a single LED flash, and it's also got a front-facing camera. The Lumia 520, on the other hand, only has a basic 5 megapixel shooter and no front-facing camera. So let's check out their design and their screens now. Just look at that picture and you'd instantly notice the difference between the two displays. First, the 720 has the larger 4.3-inch display against the 4-inch screen of the Lumia 520. But that's not what's essential. What's really important is the fact that the Lumia 520 has a very dim display. In contrast, the 720 has a very bright, very luminous display that you can easily use outdoors. This handset here, the 520, you'd be hard-pressed to use it under the direct sunlight or in the outdoors. Basically, both devices have good viewing angles, even the 520, but this dim display right here is a huge problem, and it just dulls down colors as well, and they just don't look as good as on the Lumia 720. Actually, both devices have the same resolution, 480 by 800 pixels, and have decently sharp looking colors and screens overall. Speaking of the interface of the Lumia 720 here on the left and the 520 on the right, both red devices, you see that there's almost no difference between the two. So just let's unlock them and we'll see that both of them feature Windows Phone 8, and it's a unified experience, no fragmentation at all. You have Microsoft standard set of applications like Office, for instance, which works great and allows you to, of course, jot down notes or edit spreadsheets. All the functionality is baked right in. You also get Nokia's suite of apps like Nokia Here Maps, for instance, Nokia Music, and others that we'll take a look later on in this comparison. And in terms of actual performance, we're happy to report that both devices run extremely smoothly. Despite the difference in price points, they're comparable in terms of their performance. And that's not a surprise, because both of them feature a 1 GHz dual-core processor. That processor is the Snapdragon S4 Plus, and it comes with 512 megabytes of RAM. What this means in simple terms is that you get to play most games on these two devices. And good news is that recently apps like Temple Run, for instance, added support for 512 megabytes of RAM that both these devices have, and now you can play Temple Run on them as well. In terms of the internet experience, both devices come with only one option for browser, and that's Internet Explorer. Good news is that Internet Explorer is a very solid browser. It performs nicely throughout, and you can see our page load here, and if you try to zoom in and out, you notice that the experience is almost stutter-free on both devices, and scrolling around happens without a hitch. That's good news. Both devices support 3G connectivity, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth 3.0. And speaking of other functionality, let's take a look at the camera. Both devices have a dedicated camera key on the right-hand side, and pressing that key takes you into the camera app. And there is a slight difference in options. That comes because the Lumia 720 above here has a front-facing camera and has a flash on its back camera, something that the Lumia 520 lacks. But otherwise, the camera interface, the camera apps are identical. They feature the same set of options. Of course, the Lumia 720 has the superior camera. It takes crisper, sharper images with better color representation, and in terms of video, both devices capture 720p at 30 frames per second. The Lumia 720 also has slightly superior performance in low light because of its wide aperture, so it's the more suitable device if you want to take shots at a party, at a club, at night. You name it, it's the more suitable device. In terms of media consumption, you have a larger display here, the 4.3-inch screen against the 4-inch screen on the 620. So the 720 naturally provides a more satisfying experience. And we'd like to demonstrate one app that you can download from the Windows marketplace for free, and that's the Nokia Music app. It offers the standard music playback capabilities, but it also comes with Mix Radio, which is a free streaming service that can demonstrate right now. Our Wi-Fi network drops out, but you can basically stream music for free and select your artist, build a station, and it's an extremely convenient way to enjoy your music. You also have beautiful Photos application that comes with the full screen slideshows, and all of that looks gorgeous on the Lumia 720 here on the right and the Lumia 520. Call quality is of paramount importance on both devices, since they are pretty basic Windows phones. None of them have dual microphones for noise cancellation, and both perform decently in terms of their microphone and earpiece quality. We'd actually say that on both devices our callers had no problem hearing our voices, and the same goes true for us. We heard them loud and clear to their earpiece, and we had no issues with that. In terms of battery life, another hugely important metric for a smartphone, the Lumia 720 fared better. It has the larger battery and the larger screen, and it can even last 2 days, but 1 solid day of average use for sure. And almost the same goes true for the 520. It would easily get you through a day of full use, but if you go into the second, you'd be hard pressed to actually last the full second day on the 520. And the moment of truth has arrived. Which one should you get? The affordable 4-inch Lumia 520 or the sexier 4.3-inch Lumia 720? Now that's an easy call. The Lumia 720, of course, it's got the better design, the better screen, and the better camera, but it's also got the higher price. So if you're a budget buyer, real question is the Lumia 520 worth the money? And the answer is yes, if you can do with that dim display. For more detailed comparison of the two, feel free to check out PhoneArena.com. This is Victor signing out. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.